let's talk about one of the most fascinating, and maybe one of the most unfairly judged predators on the African continent. It's time to forget what you think you know, because the real story is so much more complicated and honestly, way more incredible.
So this is really the core of it, isn't it? Is this animal just a ruthless killing machine, the vermin they were once called? Or is there something else going on here? A story about a super intelligent, cooperative, and maybe even a democratic family. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, let's be absolutely clear who we're talking about. This is the painted wolf, and this part is so important. They are not wild dogs, not in the way we think of domestic dogs. They are not hyenas, they are not jackals. They are the last and only member of their genus, Lycaon. They are, truly, one of a kind.
To really understand the painted wolf, we have to start where their reputation was born, the hunt. But as you're about to see, their incredible success on the Savanna comes at a truly unbelievable cost.
Just look at that number, 80%. That is the insane success rate of their hunts. Now, to give you some perspective, lions are lucky if they're successful maybe 25% of the time. This efficiency is exactly why the painted wolf is considered Africa's most effective predator. They are absolute masters of the chase.
But that success comes at a mind-boggling price. For every 100 meters they run, they burn through over 1,500 kilojoules of energy. You see, they're what's called cursorial hunters, which means they chase their prey over really long distances. It's this relentless pursuit that pushes them right to their physical edge. Every single hunt is a huge energy gamble.
And that gamble doesn't even end when they finally make a kill. Nope. In fact, that's when a whole new and often more dangerous challenge kicks in, protecting their hard-earned meal from thieves.
There's a scientific name for this. It's called kleptoparasitism. It literally means parasitism by theft. It's a huge problem for painted wolves. After burning all that energy to make a kill, they constantly have to fight off bigger, stronger competitors who'd much rather just steal a meal than hunt one for themselves.
And this data from Hwanghae National Park just lays it all out. In places with a lot of lions and hyenas, the wolves' feeding time gets slashed from almost half an hour down to under 10 minutes. Can you imagine? They're forced to just devour their food in a frantic race against the clock.
And this is where it gets really tricky for the wolves. You'd think, hey, a bigger pack means more security, right? More muscle to defend the kill. But this research shows it's actually the opposite. As the painted wolf pack gets bigger, it just attracts a larger crowd of hyenas. A bigger pack is like a bigger, louder dinner bell for your main competition.
So when you're facing all these incredible pressures from the outside, you might expect them to be pretty aggressive and competitive inside the pack. But what we find is the exact opposite. It's one of the most harmonious and cooperative societies in the entire animal kingdom.
I mean, this quote just says it all. They don't compete with aggression and dominance like so many other predators we see. They compete with submission. It completely flips the script on what we normally think of as alpha behavior.
So their whole society is a matriarchy, led by an alpha female who is basically the general and the main decision maker, and while only the alpha pair usually has pups, the entire pack chips in to raise them. They're all doting aunts and uncles, but here's the most amazing part. The pups, the sick, and the elderly, they always get to eat first. Adults will even bring back food for them. It's a real social safety net built on incredible cooperation.
This comparison just makes it crystal clear. With painted wolves, the most vulnerable members eat first, period. Now look at a lion pride. The dominant male eats his fill, then the rest of the pride gets a turn, and the cubs get whatever scraps are left over. These are just two fundamentally different ways of living, and the painted wolf's way is all about the good of the group.
Okay, so we've established that they're incredibly cooperative, but how deep does that cooperation really go? Well, it gets even more amazing. It turns out they might just be democratic.
So before a hunt or a big move, the pack gets together for what scientists call a rally. It's this explosion of energy and social bonding, but researchers noticed something odd. Not every rally actually led to the pack getting up and leaving. So the big question was, what's the trigger? How do they decide, okay, now's the time to go?
And the answer is one of the coolest discoveries in animal behavior. They vote. And they vote by sneezing. Seriously. During the rally, if a pack member is ready to move, they signal it with a loud, sharp sneeze. Once a certain number of sneezes is reached, once they have a quorum, the decision is made and the whole pack moves out together.
But it's not just a simple majority rule system, it's much more nuanced than that.
If a dominant wolf, say the alpha female, initiates the rally, her opinion carries more weight, and they need fewer sneeze votes to get going. But, and this is the incredible part, if enough of the lower-ranking members vote with their sneezes, they can actually override the dominant member's decision to stay put. It's a system where everyone gets a say, but experience and status still count for something. So, we've seen their incredible hunting skills, their deep social bonds, and their complex democratic decision-making. But this story has a tragic final chapter, because despite all of their amazing adaptations, they are in a desperate race against extinction.
Just 1 century ago, it's estimated that there were 500,000 painted wolves roaming across Africa, a healthy, thriving, widespread population.
And today? Well, today there are fewer than 6,600 left. That is a 99% reduction. From 500,000 down to a number so small they could all fit in a small town. It is one of the most catastrophic declines of any large predator in Africa.
So what on earth happened? The answer, pretty overwhelmingly, is us. They've suffered from massive habitat loss. They were systematically killed as vermin for decades. They're extremely vulnerable to diseases like rabies that are spread from domestic dogs. They get caught by accident in snares, and they're killed on roads that slice right through their territories.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. We've just explored the world of one of the planet's most cooperative, socially complex, and generous species. An animal that cares for its weak and literally votes on its own future. The real question is, can we humans learn to cooperate well enough to make sure they even have a future at all?